As Moses is helping the Israelites remember the journey on the way to the Promised Land, he reminds them that God told them that they could go through the area that belonged to the descendants of Esau, but they weren't supposed to conquer them. They weren't supposed to pick a fight with them. They weren't supposed to do anything other than just kind of wave to them as they passed through the land on their way to the Promised Land. And that makes sense because the Israelites were on their way to the Promised Land, and that's where they were going to live. And they weren't going to live in the area that was currently occupied by the descendants of Esau. But there's a little bit more to it. And to see the rest of the story, you have to go back to the book of Genesis, when Esau's father, Isaac, gives him a blessing. It was very common back in the Old Testament days, and we see this in the lives of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of them, that the father gave a blessing to some of his children. And Esau's father did that for him. There's a lot of history there with the story of Esau and his brother Jacob, and which we don't have time to get into right now. You can go back and read it, but the long and short of it is, his father gave him a blessing, and as part of the blessing, he said, Esau, he said, you're going to serve under your brother Jacob for a long time, and it's going to be hard. But one day you'll be free of that. One day your descendants will be free of that. And we see that play out in biblical history, is that Esau's descendants, they kind of had a hard time with the descendants of his brother Jacob, and it wasn't easy for them. But then at one point, which we haven't gotten to yet in the Bible, it's about the 500s BC, finally the descendants of Esau, they break free. And they're not under the thumb of Esau's brother anymore, in a sense. And what God was doing by telling the Israelites to pass through the land that belonged to the descendants of Esau, it was an important step in making sure that God remembered that blessing, making sure that he remembered that prayer that Esau's father prayed over him. If they had destroyed the people of Esau, then God would have broken that promise, and that prayer would not have been answered. That blessing would not have taken place. And here's the point with all of this. I don't know if any of the Israelites who were on their way to the Promised Land remembered or knew that Esau's father had spoken that prayer. But God did. God did. He remembered a prayer from a long time ago, and he remembered to answer it. How many people do you think have prayed for you over the course of your entire life? You might start at the very beginning of your life, like even before you came out of the womb, even before you were in the womb. Did your parents pray that they would be able to raise you? While your mom was carrying you in the womb, did she pray for your health and for your safety and for your faith? Did they ever bring you to church? Did you have a day of baptism when your parents or the pastor or an entire congregation prayed specifically for you? How many prayers do parents offer along the way as their children are growing up and they're raising them? Quite a few. How many other people have prayed for you along the way? Teachers, friends, relatives. God remembers all of them, even if we forget. And if you think that maybe no one has ever prayed for you, which I suppose could be possible, but if you wonder that, it's like, who in the world ever prayed for me? Well, then fast forward to the book of John, because Jesus prayed for you. Jesus did. And he said this in his prayer. He said, Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am and to see my glory. That was Jesus' prayer for you. He prayed that you would be with him, and that you would be with him in a place where you would see with your own eyes his glory. And you know what that place is? It's the perfection of heaven that he won for you. That's what he prayed for you, and not just for you. Who are the people you pray for? The people you worry about? Is it your children? Your spouse? Your friends? Your parents? God hears those prayers too. And even if we forget them, or if we forget that we have prayed them. God doesn't. He always remembers. So you can rest well tonight, my friends, because we have a God who remembers our prayers.